Hey, it's Scott McFarland. Good morning. It's early, so pardon the hairdo today. The week begins with some reaction to the latest act of clemency from President Trump, his commutation of the prison sentence, of the sentence for the former New York Congressman George Santos, who is now free from prison 6 years early. His estimated release date from the Bureau of Prisons was 2031, after the next 3 congressional elections. But he's also been absolved of restitution payments. He owed hundreds of thousands of dollars to the victims of his crime. You'll recall he pleaded guilty to identity theft and fraud. The restitution payments are now clear from his record as part of the clemency issued by President Trump. And that's going to stick in the craw of some people. There will be some critics who say that's a step too far and that impacts the victims. The New York congressman, the Long Island Republican Nick LaLota, wrote on social media after news of the clemency. At the bottom there, you see, he should devote the rest of his life to demonstrating remorse and making restitution to those he wronged. And this is not the first case of that. There have been other cases where there was a fraud conviction or a fraud guilty plea, and after the pardon, the defendant no longer has to pay back the victims or make the victims whole. In the January 6 cases, you'll recall on the first day, there were 1,500 plus acts of clemency, most of them pardons, absolving those rioters with making the taxpayers whole, with making restitution. And we looked into it. The January 6 defendants had only paid back a fraction of the money owed to taxpayers for the cleanup of the Capitol, the repair of the Capitol, and the cost of police. And those who hadn't paid, some of them have been in court as recently as this week asking for reimbursements to get their money back from the payments they'd already made from the government. And that's been met with some mixed reaction from the judges, one of whom said earlier this year, a pardon is an act of grace, but does not make amends for the past. That judge and other judges in D.C. have rejected some of these restitution requests. The broader issue here is as pardons continue, no matter one's thoughts of them, there is going to be a mounting number of unpaid restitution fees and bills, which means the people are free, but the pardon isn't necessarily